Hi there YouTube, this is Daniel back again with another YouTube video. Last time I made a In Stock Crates graphic novel haul. Some of you commented down in the comment section and wanted to see my thoughts on DC Universe Rebirth The Deluxe edition. So I thought I'd make a review. I'm gonna spoil this book, so if you aren't looking to know about the story and what happens throughout the book, I suggest you quit watching or pause it and read it and get back to give your thoughts on what you thought about this book. It's written by Geoff Johns and drawn by Gary Frank, Ethan Van Sciver, and even Reis and Phil Jimenez. They have all collaborated with Geoff Johns on his previous work at DC, such as Green Lantern, I imagine even the JSA run he did, and Gary Frank has been collaborating with him on his Batman Earth 1 books. I really love the artwork in this book, and this can be looked upon as such as like DC embracing its past, going into the future, so to say. But what is this book about? It's 80 pages of story in a one-shot format, so let's flip the camera around and have a look at the story. At the beginning of the book you get a introduction to the book by Diane Nelson. She is the president of DC Entertainment, and right off the bat, where the story starts, someone is letting us know that something isn't right in the universe. Something is off, and we are told that something is missing. Things aren't as they're supposed to be. And it turns out that time is missing in the universe, and someone or something has caused it. And the narrator, who haven't been made known yet in these couple of pages, talk about the importance of people close to him and the others, the other heroes, and the family and friends of our heroes, and the ones who help kind of ground them, their friendships and their relationships to these people. They kind of act like lightning rods, and it turns out that we get to see this rebirth event through Wally West's eyes. And as he is trying to make contact with former fellow heroes and former friends and loved ones, he's trying to be remembered and trying to gain a footing in this world, in this universe, or in this reality. And it turns out that Batman isn't the lightning rod or the person Wally needs to find his footing in this world. And he's pulled back into the Speed Force. And as he tries this multiple times, he throughout the book, he tries this with different people. He lets us, or he tells us little things about the world he knows and his history, such as his time in the Teen Titans and the Crisis event, and his time as the Flash. And he also starts to, as the story progresses, introduce us to the new status quo, and introduce us to the characters and what they are doing and what they are experiencing at this moment as the story progresses. Wally kind of, since this is a very hectic story, there's so many things going on, Wally kind of acts like a lightning rod for the reader, and as the story jumps from place to place, it gets really hectic. It would be hard to follow if not for that fact that Wally's story and his arc is in the foreground, and it focuses on him, as we all get to see some short snippets of where different characters is and what they are doing, and some of the legacy characters. And as Wally is trying to find a way to escape the Speed Force, this is a key part. I'll get to that later. But as Wally is trying to escape the Speed Force, he looks on as things are unfolding in the DC Universe. Things are happening, changing and affecting people in it. And he realized that he is starting to be absorbed into the Speed Force, as he can't find someone who remembers him. And the Speed Force is kind of trying to equalize, or trying to create a sort of status quo within the Speed Force. If he can't find someone to hang on to or to connect to, he tries different people, villains, former friends, everyone basically. And as he is about to realize that if he's going to go away, he sees this new Kid Flash, and he realized that his days of Kid Flash is over, and a sense of calm rushes over him. And if he's gonna be lost forever, at least there will be someone to carry on the mantle of the Kid Flash. And he kind of feels content in that aspect. And Wally starts to understand that since his tether to this world is torn, and accept the fact that he won't be able to come back, he goes to Barry Allen, the Flash, and to say his final goodbye, to say thank you. He tries to warn the Flash about what's happening to him and what's about to happen to everyone else. As Wally starts to fade and be absorbed into the Speed Force, Barry starts to remember who he is, and he quickly grabs Wally and pulls him back into this reality. And he starts to explain and to tell Barry what's about to happen, and that time is missing, and someone has done this. While this happened, Batman has been in his cave, walking around, and seemed to be contemplating what has happened just before with the new speedster in the Batcave. And as he does this, he notices something glimmering in the cave, embedded into the cave wall, and he goes to investigate this, and he finds this smiley button with the blood stain on it. It turns out to be the button worn by the comedian in The Watchmen, and the epilogue kind of really drives the thing that I've been suspecting the whole time when I was reading it, that it's the Watchmen who is going to be introduced to the DC Universe. Here's a quick look at some of the extra material. I think this might be a sort of promotional poster, and we get a cover gallery with the first, second, third variant cover, and third printing, fourth printing, and a fifth printing cover. And so then you get like a walkthrough of some of the key story element, tying the Watchmen to the story, and you get some character designs by different artists, either leaving the character or joining the story with the character. And I really like the Wonder Woman design by Tony S. Daniel, and I really also like the character design of Green Arrow by Otto Smith or Schmidt. Yeah, so you get quite a nice chunk of extra material at the end of this deluxe edition, which is always nice. And so let's flip the camera back around and give you my final thoughts of this little tome. So, some of my final thoughts. I really like the story. I love the artwork. It's great. And I really like the book. I think that with this book you can get the sense that DC has some intentions to try to set things right again, to correct the course of things, which basically means that they are reintroducing legacy characters, but they do so with a sort of twist. And the fact that DC decided to make these characters lose many years of their lives, memories and relationships, it kind of effectively means that the New 52 didn't happen, or does it? It kind of gets me to think that they're trying to introduce the Watchmen as a sort of villainous group, or maybe just Dr. Manhattan as the ultimate bad, or is he being introduced as sort of the creator of the DC Universe? And this kind of gives me the feeling of DC is trying to please old fan base, which wasn't really happy with the New 52, but we want to keep the new fan base that got on with the New 52. So it's kind of a classic eat the cake, keep the cake, so to say. I don't know if that analogy works in English, but it kind of illustrates that DC wants to bring back the old loyal fan base that has maybe dropped off through the New 52, to bring them back into the fold, and they want to make sure that the new fan base with the New 52 stays on with this new and bring back old characters that they might not really know, and I'm not really sure how this will work, but I've read a couple of DC Rebirth titles so far, and I really like them. I like the Batman, I like the Detective Comics, and the Flash, Aquaman, stuff like that. And they bring back certain legacy characters which have some weight to them as well, such as Wally West, and now also Clark Kent from pre-New 52, replacing the New 52 Clark Kent or Superman, and Lois Lane as well. And there's also the fact that there's so many things going on in this book that there's so many things also just flies over my head, with characters and events that I have no connection to. But with that said, if it wasn't for Wally West to pull me into the story, so to say, and give me as a reader someone to focus on and follow throughout the events of this book, I would probably not like this book as much as I do. Well, it's also hinted upon throughout the book what DC might have planned for the future of the DC Universe. I haven't read many of the books pre-New 52 or during the New 52 run, so it doesn't really affect me or my connection to many of the characters as it might for many others or many other readers. What it does though is get me excited for the future and what it might bring. The fact that they decided to bring in the Watchmen to the main DC Universe has me both excited and a bit worried for what this might mean and what implications that might have for future storylines in the main DC Universe. Since the Watchmen is such a dark and gritty story, and I'm worried that they might not work as well in what I perceive through this book to be a more lighter tone or happy tone to the comics. And with all that said, so to finish this review off, the Rebirth event is really not a reboot. It's more of a course correction, which is one of the misconceptions I had about this. I heard that DC wanted to relaunch their entire line of books, which kind of made me immediately jump to the conclusion that they were gonna reboot everything. And that's not really what happened here. It's more of a course correction, as I said, and it's an attempt to bring back some DC history and some of its legacy to the new readers that jumped on in the New 52, and it kind of succeeds and does so really well with this book. And I'm really excited to continue reading more characters in this rebirth era of the DC Universe. So thank you guys for watching this long review. There's so many things going on in this book that I have so many things to talk about with this book. If you have read it and have your own ideas or theories about what happened and what's going to happen for the future in the DC Universe, just leave a comment down below and we'll have a fun discussion about the comic book in the comment section. Until next time, let's have a great week of reading and see you in another video. Bye bye.